preparing live stream. Setting up your meeting.
Carl, did you bike here?
I did.
That was brave.
I made it here. We'll hope I can make it home.
Yeah, the sky
You
looked
have
a little
lights?
daunting, I don't know.
I have a rain jacket.
Have you seen that show yet?
No.
Oh, you've gotta see it, because the guy comes in exactly like you were
I'll go
looking.
make sure it's working out here.
That's the start of it. He's head of the British Broadcasting, some unit
All
in
right.
the British, and it's one of their sitcoms on,
Right.
it's hysterical.
Okay. Are we all set with the live stream?
Yep, it's working.
Okay, so let's,
Mark isn't here yet, right, Jack?
There's Kevin.
yeah, so we're missing Kevin, Lee, and, oh no, there's Kevin. Ooh, yay.
I'm here.
Okay,
You sure?
Well, my voice is at least.
All righty.
okay.
Rachel,
Yes,
I asked, I don't know where he is, but I asked Mark to sign on so I could introduce him. He can sign off so we can decide we're going to put him on the board. Then we can call him on the phone to have him join us. His card oath is signed and sent to Holly.
okay. But he's not currently on.
Mark,
There's Ann.
Rachel,
Yeah. Yeah, so Mark does not appear to be on yet. Do
so go ahead.
we want to continue with the rest of the meeting until he shows?
Yes.
Okay. So Pledge of Allegiance, I do not have a flag in my house, but everyone else is welcome to pledge allegiance if you do have a flag.
We can do it without a flag.
Okay. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag
to the
of the United
flag
States
of
of
the
America.
United States of America
To the
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So we're still waiting for Mark, so we're not going to do the introduction of new members just yet. So the approval of the minutes. I noticed that our final vote regarding Ron's salary was not included in the minutes. Is that because it's a personnel decision, or did that just not make it into the minutes?
It's gotta be in the minutes. and official.
Executive committee, so I didn't.
No, we came out of it.
They came out of it, when they come out of executive session, you
Okay.
have to note the action that was taken in executive session.
Okay, I'm sorry, that was my misunderstanding. I will make that correction. I'm sorry, in my head, they were still, I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure that we make sure that that was in the minutes going forward. So I guess we'll approve the minutes with the amendment as to the decision regarding Ron's salary. And I emailed you that, correct, Holly? So you have that information?
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that.
Awesome.
And
I had
thank you
a-
guys, I appreciate it.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or objections with regards to the minutes? I had one question, and that was, who is actually going to be updating our bylaws? So we voted to update the bylaws to include the bit about what to do in the event of a tie. Where,
I'll take it.
right, but I mean, like, so the document is, the original document is where, and who has that to modify it?
I do.
You do?
Yeah. What I'm gonna do whenever we get done is put all the, whatever changes we approve, give it to my secretary, clean it all up, and then give it to everybody to proof and so forth, and then go from there.
Okay, and that will eventually be posted on our website as
Oh,
the
yes.
current
Yeah.
one is? All right.
And I
okay.
would suggest, we can make changes to the bylaws with no problem. And if some people I noticed are concerned about language or whatever, we can send it to the attorney. If the attorney finds something and sends it back, all we have to do is amend the bylaw again.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we knew who had that because it, you
Well,
know.
unless somebody else wants to take it away from me.
Oh, no, that's fine. I just had a question about who had that. Okay, so if that's it for that, let's move on to the treasurer's report.
We have the financial report, and as always, it just amazes me how well we do, particularly as times are tough. But if I don't have any questions, and there were no questions in the budget and finance meeting because I was the only one there. Couldn't make a question. So anybody got questions? Move we approve it.
Okay, can I get a second on that?
Second, I'll second.
Okay, Bonnie had her hand up first, so Bonnie gets it. All in favor? Aye.
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 Are there any opposed?
Unpaid bill, I'm sorry, Rachel.
Yeah, on to the unpaid bills.
Unpaid bills, general fund is $30,015.26. The grant fund is, I think, $15,805.69. Am I right, Holly?
Yeah, Jack, there was an error in the bills. So it's 30,045. So it's 30045.26. There was a $30 error.
Okay,
Any questions? If not, I would move we.
okay, can I get a second on that?
Second.
Okay, who had that first? Was that you, Martha?
I think.
Okay.
It was.
Okay, Martha, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I'm going to move that we authorize Ron to sign those bills that need 2 signatures because I am not there tonight because I didn't really think about that until just now. So can I get a second on that? Oh, hi,
Second.
Lee.
Can I sign them?
You can sign the ones that just need 1 signature, but for 2, we'll have Ron be the second signature.
And you'll have to
Both
sign
have to
all.
sign those.
Okay, so all in favor of having Ron be the second signature on bills requiring 2 signatures? Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Did someone second that?
Did someone second that?
I did.
Oh, Jack did. Okay, thank you.
Okay, what about the minutes? Was there an actual motion on the minutes? Did we approve the minutes? I don't
They
know.
approved it with the change regarding the executive session results.
Okay, I don't think there was a,
Oh,
Did you vote on that?
I thought Jack made the motion.
no, he did the financial report.
I
Well,
honestly
before
don't
that.
remember. So let's do it again just for old time's sake.
All right.
Like, can I get, so who moved it? Bonnie, you had your hand raised? Who wants to second it?
I did.
Okay, Jack is seconding it. All in favor of approving the minutes as amended? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, awesome. And
Man.
now,
Can I interrupt 1 second?
sure.
I know Mark's going to get on. He may be having trouble with the Zoom thing, but could I give who he is and so forth and make a decision if we want to vote? So when he does come on, we can say he's been voted in? Or do you want to wait till we see him?
Appoint him. That's what we do is, we call it appointing him as a trustee.
Sure, if you'd like to do an introduction about who he is and why we should appoint him, that works.
Good.
Mark taught 32 years and 4 months in Spencer Burnett and I think a year in Watkins Glen. He is an English major. Been very active in a lot of stuff. Had 3 kids go through the school system. I think I was really surprised that he was pretty excited about getting on the board.
Oh, good.
So I would like to say, and his oath card is in and notarized, and I sent it to Holly. I don't know if she got it yet. We had an awful time with the computer. So he's all set to go. And I did tell him his oath or his office runs out this year and he has to run again. Correct?
November, yes.
Yes, okay.
November 3rd, yes, he has to. And we'll get into the no petition stuff when I do the committee report.
Do we want to wait to appoint him until we get to the continuity committee? And that will hopefully give him time to be here when we vote on him. But do we all?
Why don't we just do it, and then when he comes in, we'll welcome him.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
Let's vote on appointing him. We can do it now, and then when he comes in, we'll welcome him.
Okay.
Okay?
Does any- Yep, so is that, so Jack moved and Phyllis second, who, all
Right.
in favor?
That sounds good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so when Mark gets here, he will be welcome to the board as an appointment pending his election. Alrighty, correspondence. I have none. Do you
There is
have
none.
any?
Nope.
Okay, that was easy. President's report. I don't really have one, but I do have a sort of presidential question. And that is, did we ever pass a final version of the strategic plan? Because COVID's probably messed with the timeline for that a great deal, and we might need to revisit it.
Yeah, actually, I think we did, but we can revisit after all this COVID stuff is over.
Yeah, once we figure out what the actual impact is going to be, because I have a sneaking suspicion like our timeline is just shot.
It probably is, but, you know.
Yeah. So we're continuing to monitor the situation, and there's been a slight uptick in COVID cases in the county just within the last week. So keep an eye out. Apparently there was a guy who was diagnosed with COVID who went to Charlie's Philly cheesesteak in Big Flats on July 7th. So if you were there, go get a test. Other than that, I don't have any news.
The bookkeeper at Weiss was also found. It was on the news, our TV news.
Awesome.
But they said she was not in the actual where the customers were. They reviewed the
Security
tapes,
footage.
the security tapes, and she wasn't, they didn't see her in the area where customers were. And they listed all the things they're going to do, sanitize everything and whatever, so it should be safe again, they said.
Okay.
It's 124, yeah, as of yesterday. I checked the Chemung County list of cases. And the deaths were the same as it's been right along, 3 at the beginning.
Yeah. So for now, we're still remaining open as we have been, and Ron's going to update us during the director's report about how things have been going. Take it away, Ron.
Okay, I'm happy to say that things have been going smoothly, smoother than we thought. And it's also a little bit slower than what I thought, especially after like 5 o'clock during the week, or like Thursdays, it's dead after 6 o'clock. So I may do a rethink on the hours, but I would like to reopen by appointment on August 3rd. That's a Monday. I've been talking to directors from a couple of other libraries, and they've said the same thing. I believe Corning may open a week earlier than us. I spoke with a guy from Johnson City because they have opened by appointment, but they're only limiting it to 5 people in the library at a time.
How big are they relative to the size of our libraries?
To be honest with you, they're a much smaller building. They have a staff of 11. I think 5 are full-time, 6 part-time. Their entire circulation is only 60,000.
Ah,
Okay, so it's, to me, it was a good snapshot for Horseheads, West Elmira, Big Flats, and Venetton. It's really not, I don't think, transferable to Steel.
okay, so in terms of by appointment, are we thinking like they can come and browse and take stuff out, and then what, you limit the amount of time that they can be here? Like you get a half-hour appointment and then you have to leave?
Yes, what I'm thinking of right now is 15 minutes, because that's what the other libraries I've spoken to are doing, 15 minutes. I believe we should allow 15 to 20 people in the building at a time. I'm going to recall all staff for the 3rd. There has been no new guidance on whether 50% staff or not. However, the reopening guidance from Forward New York states that you can't exceed capacity of 50% with staff and customers. So I'm going with that as the larger number, which allows us to bring staff back. I'll take the hit for that.
The libraries are big too. There's plenty of room when there's not a lot of customers in here for everyone to have their own space.
Yeah. I mean, we got 47,000 square feet here at Steel, so it's not an issue at all. And the only reason, go ahead.
So how would we handle the making of appointments? Like, would that be by phone, by the internet?
They're going to call by phone, or they can do it online. They can send a message to the reference desk, and we'll check the schedule and see what's available, just like we're doing for curbside delivery.
Okay.
And what hours would be available?
I'm thinking to keep the 10 to 6, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Do Thursdays, I may recommend going to 10 to 6, because again, it's absolutely dead after 6 o'clock on a Thursday night. And then Fridays would be 9 to 5.
And that would be all libraries or just at Steel?
That's Steel. West Elmira would be open on Monday evenings, Big Flats on Tuesday, and Horseheads on Wednesday night, because that's their nights that the other libraries are open.
But then have the same daytime hours?
I have not decided on that, Phyllis. I need to talk to the staffs. I'm having a meeting with the department heads on Monday to get their input on it.
And you would still do curbside during that time?
We are going to attempt to do curbside. I think we're going to try to, I would like to continue curbside for 1 month and see how it goes.
So you've been having pretty good usage of that, other than the fact that no one's coming after 6?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
And you have your hand up? You're on mute.
Give 'em a nice introduction.
You need to unmute, Ann.
So they can say hi and clap their hands for him.
Mute, I see it.
Have them use
Okay.
the ID and
Can you hear me
password and
now?
Sign on.
Yes, you
Yes.
can.
Okay, we've had some questions in Big Flats about why we're only able to use the home library for pickup for books.
There is
Someone
no-
wanted to go to Horseheads that must be registered at Big Flats. They ordered the books, but they couldn't pick up in Horseheads. Is this going to be the same when you visit the library? Is it going to be only the home library?
Yeah, that's a Southern Tier Library System thing, but let me talk to Owen about that, because I thought we had discussed allowing somebody to call and pick up from another library.
Yeah.
So I'll
Well,
talk to the department heads on Monday.
I know it was Horseheads that they wanted to pick their books up at because it was close to them. And they live in Big Flats, but with a Horseheads address. So I think it's kind of confusing for people if you don't remember where you registered. Now, I know I registered in Big Flats, but I should think I could go to Steel or any place if I were going to pick up books.
Okay, I'll get that addressed on Monday, Ann.
Oh, come on.
All
Would you
right,
take
thank you.
the dinner out?
No, but I wish mine were ready.
Well, that was because of the transfer of books, but if the books they wanted were at Horseheads,
Yes, that's right, they were.
I don't get this.
My thought is if they're willing to drive the Horsehead, they should be able to reserve the book there and pick it up.
Well,
We cannot send between libraries because SDLS does not have delivery right now.
right, I understand that. And the books were at Horseheads. That's why they ordered them from there, but that was the closest thing to work for them. So they thought they could pick up at Horseheads.
All righty, I'll talk at department heads meeting on Monday.
Okay,
Now, you said that on the 7th, you were going to have a meeting with the staff about the reopening and with the union. How did that go?
Oh, yeah, union meeting went quite well. Basically, they had a list of concerns from staff. Fortunately, I had sent out a bunch of information. I sent out like 5 different things that seemed to cover all of the issues that the staff had. So the union said they were satisfied with what I had sent out. So
Good.
that went quite well. Department heads, we talked a little bit. We were mostly going through, just rechecking on how we were going to do the curbside, see how that was going to go. This Monday is when I will be talking about opening for limited.
okay.
Do you know if this the first the staff has heard about that, or have they had input so far?
I've had some input. To be honest with you, several staff are understanding because, quite bluntly, I think it's time for us to do it. I mean, patrons have been reasonably cooperative, but I think we owe it to the taxpayers to open up.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think a limited opening, with monitoring the situation, I think is probably a sensible idea at this point.
Ron, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
You said you were looking to continue the curbside for 1 month.
Yes.
Is that 1 month from when we started it, or are you looking 1 month from the August 3rd date?
1 month from the August 3rd date.
Okay.
And that is based on 100% staffing, which is what we're trying to do on the 3rd.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Ron, I have a question.
Yeah.
So when people are allowed to come into the building again, what services will be available to them? Will they be able to use computers, work with genealogical materials, or are they only limited to browsing and pulling materials to borrow?
When we initially open up, they're going to be limited to browsing. I want to discuss on Monday about use of computers. I think we should allow 30-minute sessions on the computers because we do have a lot of people who come in just to use the computers. Okay. And again, genealogy and the other specialty areas, that I'll get more information on Monday.
So we had talked briefly a week or so ago about how you wanted to restrict the use to the first floor and then maybe have like runners get things from the second floor, or have you decided that that's...
I don't think that's feasible,
okay,
to be honest with you. I mean, the main thing we want to have is somebody at the door counting number of people who come in and who goes out. I don't see how we'd be allowing people the opportunity to browse the movies, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And for kids to browse, or obviously we don't want a lot of kids in, but for people to browse youth services. I think all patrons should have the equal opportunity to browse in the building.
Okay.
And I've changed my mind because I did more discussions with other library directors.
That's fair. other question is about volunteers. So you have a fairly decent pool of volunteers who do things like, putting books back on shelves and whatnot. Are they going to be invited back? And if so,
I'm
when?
going to see
They are not.
running the meeting.
I do not plan on inviting them back until September at the earliest.
Okay.
Most of our volunteers are a little bit older, so I want to look out for their health as well.
Ron,
Yeah,
Mark says he's been trying to sign on with the ID and password and can't get on.
Is there a waiting room for this? And if so, could you make sure that he's not waiting in the waiting room?
there shouldn't have been a waiting room.
I thought that they implemented that for all meetings because of
You didn't
people.
have any of the rest of you in.
Yeah, you all came in.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to mention about Zoom is if I click on the link from the email, it sometimes doesn't work for me. If I open Zoom separately and then paste in the meeting ID number and then the password, that usually works better for me. So he might want to try doing that rather than clicking on the link in the email.
Yeah, because I've got nothing
That happened to
showing,
me today. Yeah.
nothing showing anybody waiting.
Okay.
Does he have Zoom on his computer already? Which, yeah.
Probably should, yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
I mean, when you try to get it on, it automatically prompts you to download it if you don't have
It's
it.
pretty straightforward.
The only other thing I had is I just wanted to update you real quick. I met with Bob Butcher regarding the staff room. We made 1 or 2 minor changes, so he is now going to send me a completed drawing. Once I okay that, then we'll send it out. We'll do the documents and we'll send it out for bid.
5, 5, 8.
Hey, Jack, would you mind muting your mic while you're talking to him on the phone?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
If we can get him Zoom by phone.
Yeah, that would work too. Oh, do we want to do the personnel actions under the director's report?
Yes, please.
Okay, so there were a couple of personnel actions. Step increases for 2 employees. Can I get a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion.
Not nice.
That's the personnel actions.
I'll second. Bonnie, can I see your hand up?
All in favor? Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Okay, the personnel actions are approved. Okay, committee reports, executive committee. We met, it was a mix of in-person and Zoom, which was very surreal. We approved the unpaid bills for July 1st. And we actually signed them. So Olga Kransky's estate donated quite a substantial amount of money. So that'll be handy. Curbside, we've already discussed. We talked about the CSEA meeting on July 7th. And that steel will be available for use for the library board elections. And I imagine that Phyllis is going to tell us a little bit more about the library board elections. And that was basically it. Does anyone have any questions about that meeting?
Ron, if Jack can get the number, then John can call him to zoom him in.
Jack?
Yeah.
Can you get his number so John can call and help him out? Oh, wait, what's his number?
Is that him?
I got it.
Yeah, try unmuting.
Hello?
Hi, are you Mark?
Yes, hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Welcome to the meeting.
Thank you.
So we voted to appoint you as to the board. So congratulations, you are now officially a board member.
Well, thank you very much.
We are here to meet you.
Yes. I'm assuming that video, right?
Yeah, this is streaming on YouTube.
Oh, okay, so it's not Zoom.
Oh, no, it is on Zoom, but
It is on Zoom.
you can stream Zoom to YouTube apparently, which is cool, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we had trouble. I couldn't get connected, so that's why we're kind of late here.
All right. Do you have any questions for us before we get started, or?
No, I really don't. Not at this point. I'm just going to listen in and see if I can sort of catch up with what's going on. How's that sound?
Okay, you are authorized to vote, so when the next thing that requires voting comes up, you are welcome to participate, and in fact, encourage you to participate.
And Mark, do you want our technical person to call you and help you get on so you're on Zoom, so you can see us on Zoom?
Well, I don't think today is necessary, but I would hope in the future I can. I just didn't have the information I needed to connect with you. But I mean, I just soon wait till the next meeting if that's okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, as long as
so
you're still able to hear us and participate, I think that's what really matters.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Where were we on the agenda?
Here.
So we had talked about the executive committee. We did that. Budget and finance committee. Jack, you sort of already gave a report
Yeah.
on that.
Committee of one with the tentative budget was presented and Holly had it. Since there was only one person there, I don't know if I can do it, but I'm recommending we approve the budget as it is, and we send it to the board.
Okay, has everyone, with the possible exception of Mark, seen the budget? You should have received it by email at some point. I forget when that went out. When did that go out?
The last
It was
meeting.
a while ago.
It was a while ago,
It was
yeah.
our last meeting, our last official meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you should have already seen the budget by now.
The board packet was in there.
Yes.
Yes.
Does anyone have any questions about that budget? Would anyone like to second the budget?
Second.
Okay, that's from Pam. Can I see a show of hands? All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Mark, did you vote? I couldn't tell. And would you like to abstain since you haven't had a chance to actually look?
That's what I was just going to say. I'd probably better off if I abstain from that vote. I don't want to.
Okay. You'll be registered as abstaining for lack of prior preparation or, lack of access to the actual document.
That works.
Okay. We aren't asking for a budget increase over the
Property tax cap.
yes, so we don't need to do a resolution going, oh, wow, that'll be a first for my time on the board.
Probably.
Okay, next.
I just want to say one thing. Because of the economy, I mean, this is the best we can do right now, but we don't know, and we have to keep in mind, so I think we should be as austere as possible, whether people are going to even be able to pay their taxes in Chemung.
That's true. Yeah.
And so I think we should try to be as austere this year as we possibly can.
And that's why we did what we did. We're asking for what, $5,000 more?
Yeah, but
Again, and that,
but if anything comes up that we don't absolutely need, I don't think we should do it.
well, yeah, we'll just put it in reserve funds. That's fine. But again, I'm sorry. I'm glad you said something. We have an opportunity to get computer equipment with a 50% match. I've been talking to Brian Hildreth from STLS. Deb has the list of equipment. So we had asked you to allow us to purchase equipment from the reserves.
Mhm.
Having this 50% match should help us out. And once I hear more from Deb, I can let you know the status on that.
Okay, but that sounds like it might be a pretty good deal if we can actually get in on it.
Yes.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the Buildings and Grounds Committee. Carl.
So everyone should have got the minutes from the building and grounds meeting. We were going to have employees trained on the sign. I didn't notice it when I walked in today, but
They've
got new information on it.
Yeah, we had 8 people trained.
Okay. How many people do you intend to have trained?
I'm going to be honest with you, I wanted to limit it to 1 person per department. I don't want a lot of people having access because I think too many people having access would mean we'd have too many signs put on it and then no sign would get much attention paid to it. We want to hit it with 3 to 5 slides.
Okay. Did anyone have any questions about the Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting?
My only other question, Ron, is an update on the boiler. Is it still moving along?
Boiler's still moving along. I forgot to ask for an update. I meant to do that today and I just forgot to send it to him.
That's all right. It's warm out. We're in good shape.
It's
right
warm
now.
out, yeah. We don't have to worry about heat right now.
And Carl and I went and looked where the drain is for the parking lot.
Oh, good.
And it was not where I thought it was, so good thing. It showed me.
Where is it?
Well, it's not there anymore, but
So when will the parking lot be done?
Are we holding off on that because of the economy or was that already?
Yes. I thought about it, for us to do 4 major projects in a year, I think would look like we're holding on to a whole serious load of cash, number 1. Number 2, I'm waiting to see if we can get any construction grant aid from New York State for it. I had a conversation.
On that, but
No, I talked to Brian about that and he's been on vacation this week, so he's gonna get back to me.
okay. Alrighty, anything else we need to discuss about Buildings and Grounds?
no,
Okay.
you mentioned the kitchen before, so I think we're good.
All right.
Can I have a question
Yes.
or comment?
Go for
Back
it.
on the Budget and Finance Committee meeting, the figures that are presented there are not right. The report from the committee talks about the May 31st financial report and the bills for June.
Huh?
So do we wanna approve those as amended?
Okay.
See what I mean, Holly?
Yep, sorry, Pat, thank you.
I didn't even notice that. Good catch.
Mine said what you did.
Personnel Committee. We didn't have anything to report, did we, Penny?
We did not.
Okay.
But thank you for catching the note about the minutes because I was going to bring that up.
All right. Election and continuity. Phyllis.
Okay, we've all determined that there will be no petitions this year. The point of petitions has always been that we had 25 people sign that we could be on the ballot. And the governor has decided no petitioning this year, so it'll have to be write-ins, which means on November 3rd, here is the deal. Did somebody have a?
No, I just went, oh my God.
And I went, oh.
November 3rd here, and that horse says, we will have, just like we have had every other year, people are able to come in and vote in their district. and it will be all write-ins.
So basically, if you are planning on running this year, you better make sure you vote and that you physically drag at least 2 other people to vote with you.
Thank you, Rachel. That was what I wanted to say.
Okay, question.
For those of us who are running, this is really good because it does expose those of us who were running to lots of things. So I'm glad we're not. And yes, I will drive people around to take them to the library on November 7th, November 3rd.
But the thing is, we need to keep in
Can we
mind.
also give our friends absentee ballots to mail in? Write in our names to mail in?
Yes, we've had in past years, the absentee ballots at the library. I guess the best way to do that would be, Holly, can we call you and ask if they want an absentee ballot? And you'll mail it to them?
Sure, or could they come and pick them up? I mean, that would be
easier. Yeah, if it's,
you know.
What are the rules with the absentee ballots? Does the person who's gonna fill it out need to come and pick it up in person?
I don't know for sure. I'd have to ask Sue about that.
We should,
Sue Cook runs it for us, and I know in the past, we have had them here at Steel, and people could pick them up at Steel. I'll have to ask her.
And how far ahead do those absentee ballots need to be mailed in so they count?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
How far in advance must they be mailed to count?
I don't know that either. I'll find that out.
Okay.
Hey, we need to keep in mind that we got somebody out there that would like to make some changes on the board. And this no petition really opens the door. If he spots a seat where he thinks he's got 10, 15 people that would go vote to get somebody off. So I don't think 2 to 3 write-in ballots is enough. I think we should, particularly if we can do mail-in, we need to make sure whoever's on the board and wants to stay on the board has a goodly number of names or persons to write in for them. And I'm saying it shouldn't be less than 10. I could be all wrong, but they may have decided to give up. But if they don't, if I was in his shoes, this would be a perfect place for me to get 1 or 2 board members.
Yep, you're right.
I agree. I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, I will find out and report at our next meeting about the absentee ballots, and maybe that is a good idea that we have, try to get more.
Yes, I mean, obviously more is better.
Yeah.
So yeah, increased democracy. Now, Mark, you will be on, you are appointed through the end of December, but you will have to be elected in November. So that means that although we do not have ballot petitions, it will be your responsibility to write yourself in and ensure that at least several other people write you in as well.
All right.
And Penny also, we appointed Penny for 2020, and she also has to be elected on November 3rd. And everybody understands that we're gonna have it here at Steel and at Forsyth.
So this election is just, the voting is strictly for the board for the library. It has nothing to do with anything locally, politically, or anything like that, right?
Correct. I mean, you should still vote in your regular local election, but it'll be at the library, is just the library board.
Okay.
And the budget will be on the regular ballot where
Right.
go to, okay.
That's always, I see that they always have that there. Yeah.
Now, we used to be on the regular ballot, but there was this whole big issue with the Board of Elections who was like, I don't want to do it anymore, so now we have to do it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I know it. That's kind of tough. It's going to be a little tougher this year. Absolutely.
Yes,
Just to get people to go out and vote in the first place.
that's the problem. Oh, yes.
All righty. Does anyone have any questions about the election committee?
Not
Okay.
at this point.
Everybody knows who they are that is running, right?
No, not necessarily. You mentioned Penny and Mark.
Well,
Right.
Are there others?
Silvernail, Bonnie, Chalet, Jack, me,
Okay,
and Martha Smith,
okay,
besides Penny and Mark.
good, okay.
Oh, okay.
A lot of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
As a personal favor, please make sure you get enough people to vote for you.
Uh-huh.
Appreciate that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We don't really have an advocacy committee at the moment. But did anyone have anything they wanted to add to that section?
I'm going to suggest that somehow or other, and I don't know what we're looking at, but we should be looking at turning out the vote in the districts where we have people up for election. And that would mean going through the roster, the roll for each district, and identifying 10, 15, 20 people, and like the 2 or 3 days before the election, making phone calls to those people and saying, I'm a write-in, I want to continue to support the board. You have to either go to Horseheads or CCDL to vote, and I'm asking you to make that effort.
And you're suggesting that as part of the advocacy
Yeah,
committee?
I think
Yeah.
the advocacy committee could help. I mean,
Sure,
it's something they should lay out for us and then give to each one of us who's running.
okay,
I think that's a good idea. I would do it not 2 or 3 days beforehand, because you don't know what people's schedules are like. You don't know what their
Yep.
commitments are like. So give them time.
Good
Give them a
point.
week.
and we don't know how many are absentee ballots.
Right.
That
And the
might
other
might
thing,
be done. So we've got to do it before.
and the other
Yeah.
thing too is if you've got people in more outlying districts, it's an effort for them to actually come in and vote at either Steel or Horseheads. So they need to
Yeah,
make arrangements, put it in their schedules.
right.
So Phyllis, can you get the election roll for each one of us that has a district? Each one of us in a district where we're up for election so we can have it. And Mark, I have it already run off. I'll drop it off to you one of these days.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, that's basically why I asked about the absentee ballots, because if I can give half a dozen couples an absentee ballot or 2 absentee ballots and ask them to mail them in, then I don't have to worry about them showing up.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Okay, so we definitely need the information
Can
about
we
when the
get
ballots need to be in
absentee
by.
ballots?
Now,
Bonnie asked if we can get absentee ballots.
I
I've lost the sound.
talked to Sue about how we're going to do that this year. In the past, we have given them the absentee ballots to the business office. And if anybody inquired about it, we told them to come pick one up. I will find out how we will do it this year and get back to you at the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Is it possible to email us one ballot, Holly, so that we can then make copies and send them out to our constituents?
I think we need to get the answer from Sue of how it needs to legally be done,
Yeah.
to make sure we're doing it correctly.
And then we go from there, okay? Yeah, right.
Okay.
And Jack, as to whether I can get we've got marks, of course. Could you just forward it to him electronically? And I have mine. Pat, do you have yours?
Do I have my what?
Your list of registered voters.
I don't really need a list. I've got enough couples that I know within my district.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but there's only 50
I mean,
people in that district.
Well, I don't want to ask the
What?
board to do any more work than we absolutely have to, because they're going crazy. I mean, you know, I don't. So
Pat's up.
if,
Pat's up in Catlin. Nobody's there.
so I'm not going to ask the board to do it unless we absolutely need it. So does anybody absolutely need it?
I could use it.
I don't.
Who said that you could use it?
I think that was
Bonnie.
Bonnie? Okay.
I said I could use it.
Bonnie and Martha.
Bonnie and Martha want it?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Do you need it?
I don't need one, no. I've got one.
All right.
Okay, all righty. I will do my best to get it to you, Bonnie and Martha, but no promises that it'll be soon, because they are telling me they're just so overwhelmed that.
That's okay. Thank you.
They said they're still working on the primary as of yesterday.
wow. Okay. We don't need to enter executive session. So I guess the old business is the amendments to the bylaws.
Okay, I move to adopt section 7, section 5 to read. When circumstances will not allow for a meeting of the CCLD board or its committees in person, said meetings may be held remotely using the internet as long as the following are observed. All parties must be able to hear everyone participating in the meeting. If voting takes place, the chair must be able to verify each participant's vote. If the meeting is by means of any type of video or other similar method, the public notice shall contain the password for the public access to the meeting. The meeting shall be recorded and the recording should be made available to the public. Members of the public who participate in the remote access meeting shall have the right to address the board under the agenda period for public expression. So I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, since I made the motion, I get the right to speak first. There's two things going on. The Office of Open Government does not control whether we have bylaw changes or not. In fact, even if we violated the open meeting law, the Office of Open Government does not go to court. All it does is offer an opinion. If somebody wants to challenge something that we did, they have to do an Article 78 proceedings. You can put anything you want in your bylaws, and it's not a violation if it is in conflict with the law until you make it operative. Secondly, our bylaws currently say that we are guided by Robert's Rules of Order. And Robert's Rules of Order require that for us to be able to take specific actions, we have to have bylaws that give us that authority. And it was important, if you read what the government's executive order says, he ruled that communities which have adopted local rules establishing meeting protocols about public participation must continue to follow the local rules unless relaxed by the board. That's us. He did not order us to do something. His executive order gave us the ability to amend the bylaws so that we can have a process that people can look at for us to conduct meetings remotely. Now, I don't know what the problem is, whether it's something that may not last a month or something that may only last a week. Once it's in, it can always be taken out by a simple motion to amend the bylaws and to delete it.
All right.
But by right, we are a public entity. We're a nonprofit organization. Nonprofit organizations are required to have bylaws to give them the authority to take whatever action they're doing. They just can't decide, well, right now, I think we ought to have a meeting by telephone. There's no authority in the bylaws for us to do that. In fact, I'm not recommending we do it, but we need to have bylaws, and I'm suggesting we adopt this bylaw. If that bylaw does pass, I have a second motion, which is to take Article 4 and move it into this. But right now, the motion is, and the discussion is on the section, Article 7, Section 5. And again, the Office of Open Meeting Laws has nothing to do other than to give us advice. They can't enforce anything. They don't go to court for anybody. And their advice is good if the law were in place, but the executive order by the governor did away with that. So he gave us the authority to go ahead and conduct meetings this way. We need authority in the bylaws for us to do it legally.
Okay, I spoke with Kim Biddle today. Brilliant idea to actually consult our attorney about it. And she stated that she has not heard of any organizations needing to change their bylaws. She said that she does not think it has to be changed, especially if our bylaws don't mention that we're specifically meeting in person at a specific location each month. She went on to say that the best way around this to appease everyone was that it should read, although I have it in section 4 instead, but it could be adapted to change to 7, that it should say meetings of the Board of Trustees shall be held on the third Thursday each month, 12 times, blah, 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 in accordance with current law. That way, when this happens again, we're covered. If it doesn't happen, we're covered to just operate as normal. And that way it should make everyone happy and we're not going down the slippery slope of putting things in to violate open meetings, if no matter what. And that is the suggestion from the CCLD attorney. So anyone is welcome to reach out to her as well, but I did. And that.
Well, wait a minute. I don't think board members should be calling the attorney because every time they call, the meter's running. That's the duty for the
we clearly
president.
needed legal advice, and I reached out to Rachel and Ron, and I didn't get a response from Rachel, and Ron told me I was free to contact her, so I did.
Well, but you just opened it up to everybody. If there's questions to the attorney, I don't mind, but
I tried to go through other ways to get advice from the attorney, and I didn't get a response. So Ron told me I could just contact her myself, so I did.
There is no slippery slope here. What bothers me is this is no big deal except to make our bylaws conform to what the rules under Robert's Rules of Order are. Why is there such a resistance to do something that's right? I think she's wrong. I think she needs to look at what we've got. And if I would suggest, and I hope this will pass, and then we can send it to her, Ron or Rachel can send it to her so she can get an opinion on it. As a nonprofit organization, we have an obligation to operate in a manner consistent with nonprofit organization rules and with Robert's Rules of Order. There is no slippery slope. I don't know what the resistance is.
Well, what I said
Wait,
would
will you
cover-
mind, wait, excuse me. I thought it was rude to interrupt. I'll wait till you finish.
Sorry, I had a question. Are we a nonprofit or are we a government entity? I thought we were.
I didn't mean entity. We're a nonprofit organization. We're under the state education department. And by the way, I'm still waiting for a response from them for the other issue. It's important. What's wrong with doing what's right? When you say slippery slope, how slippery is it if all of a sudden the law, they change and now you have to follow the open meeting law. So we have a meeting, we say, I move to delete article, whatever it is, and it passes and it's not there. Where's the slippery slope? There isn't one. This is just a question of we need to do what's right. I belong to this organization because I'm proud of it, but I don't want to be doing things we shouldn't be. And I don't like her language. And as I said before, even if we have it in the bylaws and we do not use it, in other words, they change the law so we never have a remote access meeting, it's not in violation of laws. The law does not get violated until you execute it. And if we never use it, the open government meeting law isn't going to come into play. You can ask for an opinion to say, if we did this, would it be illegal? They might say yes. But if we don't ever use it, it's not illegal.
That to me is the exact definition of a slippery slope, to put something in place that might not be okay and just hope for the best. Kim's wording that she suggested will cover us no matter what. It follows Robert's Rules of Order. It follows the open meetings law. It literally says we'll meet in accordance with the law. So if there's an executive order again, we follow the executive order. Once the executive order is over, then we go back to meeting normally. I don't understand why we would vote for something and then send it to her. I mean, this should have been something that was done before, and then they have to go through the whole process to undo whatever we did. This is something that all this research should be done up front, which is what I've been trying to do, and I've been supplying information all along. So I don't understand why we would vote, hope it passes, and then see what the attorney says when I literally just said what she said. And I provided documentation from the open meetings. And why don't we just go to a vote? Because we could just, we've been doing this. This is the third month we've been going through this. And it's ridiculous at this point.
So we have a motion to go to a vote from Jack and seconded by Jessica.
I'm gonna amend the original motion as it was written and add that it be sent to the CCDO attorney for review and recommendations.
I thought you were concerned about running up her bill. I mean, I found out what she said today, so now you want to send it to her to review.
That's, there's a motion on the floor. I need a second.
Are we voting on just this, which change or all the ones you?
No, you're just voting on to send it to Kim. That would be if the amendment change is seconded.
So wait, we're just voting to send your language to Kim?
That's what my amendment is, to send the language to Kim for review and recommendations.
Why do you need a motion for that?
Because I made the motion, I need a second.
I'll second that.
It was seconded.
Okay, so now this is a discussion. I'm unsure, are you wanting to approve it and then send it to her for review, or are you just wanting to send it to her for review?
I'm sending
those are two different things.
I'm sending, this is what we have approved for her to look at.
So you want to vote to approve and then send it to her to review?
No, we're voting second on the amendment to go to her. And then we go back and we're going to vote. This is the language we are sending to her.
Okay, so we're not approving it, we're voting to send it to her so that she has a chance to look at it.
Yes.
Okay. Can I get
I call the question.
So all in favor of sending Jack's amendment to Kim for review?
And recommendation.
Can I ask, I'm
I
not done
called,
discussing,
they called the question.
but I was not done. So I don't,
It doesn't make any difference. I called the question.
thank goodness. I bet if you still had more to say, we would keep talking. This is ridiculous.
Called the question, Rachel.
And who would like to send it to Kim for review?
In other words, the amendment.
To send the proposed language to Kim for review? All in
Aye.
favor?
I vote to, aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Hey,
Or,
Hey,
okay, so can I
Wait a
get
minute, I want a roll call vote because I didn't
Yeah,
see
that's what I was
somebody
gonna
vote.
say, because I can't really tell who's saying what. So, so Jack is, so let's see here. Phyllis, what do you say?
I say no.
You say no. Carl, what do you say?
Yes.
Okay, Mark, what do you say?
I say yes.
Pat, what do you say?
no,
Okay, Jack,
Yeah,
Pam,
No.
Jessica,
No,
Martha,
No,
Penny,
No.
Anne. Anne, what do you say?
oh, she's muted.
You're muted, Anne.
No.
No, okay, thank you. Kevin,
no,
Lee, what do you say? No, okay. And I'm also gonna say no as well, since we already have from Jessica what Kim said. Alrighty, so the motion to send the language to Kim for review has not passed.
Can I make a motion that we amend it to Kim's language? Is that possible?
Yes, you can make a motion. Can we get a second on that motion?
what's the motion?
The motion is to accept the language that that Jessica proposed. Jessica, could you repeat that
Yep.
language for us?
It would be Article 4, so we would, I guess, leave out the changes in 7, but it would read everything that it says so far. Meetings of the Board of Trustees shall be held on the third Tuesday of each month, 12 times per annum, at times to be established by the board. All board meetings will be publicized and are open to the public in accordance with current law.
It's the-
Third Thursday.
Was the governor's change that we could do this by Zoom, was it by law or directive?
That's an excellent question. I'm not sure.
I thought it was an executive order. We can check.
Order, yes, it's an executive order.
Is an executive order law, though?
There seems to be some disagreement about that.
Yeah,
The executive order was in March and he only gave us the authority to adopt changes, bylaws, whatever we want. He did not tell local entities what to do or how to do it. This resolution by Kim does not give us the right to conduct Zoom meetings. It simply says we'll have meetings. It doesn't give us the right to do it because there's no bylaw to give us that authority.
But it also doesn't say it has to be in person, which was one of the things she brought up. She said if the current bylaws said the meetings had to be in person, then she could see making the proposed change to saying in accordance with law. But if the bylaws don't say that it's in a specific place, that we're all meeting in person, then that was not necessary.
I'm going to move, we table this and send the language that I read or article to Kim
Which was
for
already voted
opinion.
down.
We already voted.
No,
We
I can
voted
do-
against it.
that's all right. I can move to table it. It's a different motion. I move to table it and send it to Kim. So I
I
need a
move to call the
second.
vote. I move to call the vote.
You do what?
She moves to call the vote. on
Vote,
her
Okay.
like
proposal.
you did.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, can I get a second on that on Jessica's motion?
Second.
Okay, can I get a vote on Jessica's motion? All in
Not
favor?
Jessica's motion,
What are
it's
we
my
voting
motion.
on?
We're voting to table it, to send,
No, we're not.
No,
No, we're
no.
not.
We're
No, we're
voting
not.
on Jessica's motion to change the language to in accordance with to
Rachel, I
Yes.
move to table, and table takes precedent over any other motion.
But there was not a second, correct?
yes, there was not a second.
Is there, you didn't ask for one. Is there a second to the motion to table?
I'll second it.
I can't
gotta
imagine
call a
anyone
vote.
truly wants to draw this out
That's
for a fourth month.
Mark, because I'm really confused about this at this point anyway, and rightly so.
So am I.
I'm assuming that this is based on the executive order from Como. That's where this started.
Yes,
And aren't those executive orders, I mean, aren't they, I'm under the impression that any executive order that he has made is temporary.
yes.
Right, it has a
Till
time.
August 5th currently, yeah.
Okay, because they keep changing, and I understand they keep moving the goalposts, but, so well, I mean, that personally, I'm a little, I understand the premise here. I understand what's going on. I understand that this is not, these are extraordinary times, and as far as meetings are concerned, they're not open, they're unfortunately not open to the public, I assume, right? Is that where we are?
Right.
Well, they are because we're taping it and it's on YouTube. So,
Okay,
so it's open to the public.
It's just not physically open to the public.
hey, well, okay, and it's open to the public for those who have access to the technology that would allow them to participate in the meeting, or at least observe the meeting.
Correct.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
So there has been a motion to table this. Apparently tabling motions take precedent. So all in favor of tabling this discussion, say aye.
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 All opposed to tabling?
Okay,
No.
Okay, it sounds like the nays have it, but let's do a roll call because it's very hard to tell.
Okay.
So Jack and Mark both voted yay.
To table
Phyllis,
the discussion, right?
to table the discussion, yes. So Phyllis,
Correct. Correct.
okay. Phyllis, what would,
I vote yes.
you vote yes to tabling. Carl, what do you vote to tabling?
No.
No to tabling. Okay, Anne, what do you vote for tabling?
I vote yes.
Yes to tabling from Anne. Okay, Jack was a yes. Pat, do you vote for tabling?
Yes, because by next month, Cuomo will probably send out some other order that we'll have to discuss.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, Lee,
Yes.
yes to tabling. Martha,
No.
no to tabling. Pam,
No.
no to tabling. Jessica,
no.
okay. Penny,
No.
Kevin, Kevin?
No.
No to tabling. Have I missed anybody? I vote yes to tabling. So I lost count of how many people that was.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, there was 8 yeses and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it looks like the yeses have it.
The yeses have it.
Okay, so we are tabling this discussion. Thank you. Was there any additional old or new business? Okay,
So can I just clarify that because we're now going to send my proposed change to Kim to review? Is that what's happening? Because we voted against sending Jack to review. So what is
Right,
it that we're
tabling the discussion. The
We're
discussion
tabling
will
the
start.
yes, let's do it for a 4th month.
well, hopefully, well, it'll only be a 4th month if someone brings it up in the 4th month, but I do not have Kim's contact information. And I don't.
I suggest
I do. I will send the proposal.
we set up a meeting with our lawyer that Ron and the board can attend, and we can have a small group.
Yeah,
come up with a good proposal for our next board meeting. I don't think that's something that has to be voted on, but we should do our homework before we come to this meeting.
Amen.
Yeah.
I've been doing homework month after month.
Ron, can you set that up?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I ask one question? Jack, I have the original of that you sent out. The last one you sent out a couple of days ago, was that different from this?
Slight difference, just minor.
Just minor differences. Okay, all right.
Rachel,
Yes.
on one of the other amendments on whether we could vote people in office in December at the last meeting, I'm still waiting for a response from the State Education Department. I've talked to them several times and they're up in the air on it because Phyllis brought up that the original bylaws and documents that established the CCDL had specific language in it as to meetings when elections would take place. I hope maybe by next meeting we'll have something, but I was thinking this is you can be thinking about if in fact we can't make that happen, there's no reason we couldn't have an organizational meeting the first week in January to swear in new board members and to elect officers at the very beginning of the month. So people who are elected can take over their office and begin operating. But I'm just giving that as general information.
Okay, but first we're gonna wait and to hear back from what the state has to say.
Yep.
And then behave accordingly depending on what their answer is.
I have another thing I want to say that is kind of off the thing, but can Ron or somebody see that Mark has a trustee handbook? Because he, of course, skipped the orientation for new members
Yeah, I
of the
think
board.
we've got one in the office.
Okay, we're gonna send it out to you, Mark.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we're gonna need your contact information so that it can be added to the mailing list for all of the board email discussions and to make sure that you have documents.
Sure.
So if you could get that to us, or at least to Holly or Ron, so that they can get it to us, that would be awesome.
If they need to get, I don't know how to get a hold of them, so.
Real simple. Let me give you my phone number.
Well, I was just gonna say I could give you the contact information now if you wanted it. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me either way.
All right, go ahead.
Well, keep in
All
mind
right,
that this will be going out over the internet, so.
Oh, yeah.
All my information will be?
Yeah, if you put it on now.
Okay.
Mark, does Jack have it? Could Jack
Yeah.
send?
Yes.
It's right in the
Yes,
bottom,
yeah.
under, on the Zoom line, that where his telephone is, that's his telephone number, and that's his contact. Everything goes through the
Well,
phone.
what number's showing up on the Zoom? That might be Dee Dee's, Jack.
846-0291.
Yeah, that's hers.
Oh.
That's hers.
Oh,
But I sent you, I called you back and
Yep.
left you a message with my cell phone number on it, and you do have my email.
I'll get it, Ron, I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And if Ron, if something happens, well, I don't know. I don't dare give you anything over the Zoom now, I guess.
once I get your information, I'll shoot you an email so you have mine.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Thank you.
Ron, is the tech guy still there?
Yeah,
Can he call Mark as soon as we stop, sign off, and see if he can find out why Mark can't get on?
yeah, let me go grab him.
Okay, was there anything else that we needed to discuss tonight? All right, Mark, thank you very much for coming on the board and agreeing to fill in that post. And yeah, we look forward to working with you and with everybody else. And if no one else has any questions, comments, or concerns, we're gonna end the meeting.
Well, I thank you right back, and I'll do what the best I can. We'll figure it out as we go, but thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome, Mark. Could I
Thank
make a
you.
motion that we adjourn, or is it too early here?
No,
No, we
I
can
second
make
it.
the motion. Okay, all in favor of ending the meeting? Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed?
Nope.
All right, meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay safe, everyone.
Stay on, Mark. Don't go away.
I'll stop the
All
line.
right.
So,
All right.